Hello again, everybody. This is Toby Brockner, founder and creative director of V Squared Creative, vsquaredcreative.com. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about something very important, not only to you, but also to any design firm that you may hire. It's on how to give proper feedback to your designers. Believe it or not, your designer is on your side. Yeah, she's actually on your team and wants you to have a really great design just as badly as you want a really great design. So what we're going to talk about today is giving proper feedback and how really good feedback can lead to desired results. And I want to use an example of a client that we just had recently come in. His name is Matt. He started a company called Cafe Mule. And what Cafe Mule does, and I'm not making any of this up either, is he has a mule that he packs coffee on his back and hikes up these trails in the Treasure Valley in the Boise area and sells hot, fresh coffee to people who are walking up the trails early in the morning or in the evening or whatever. It's actually kind of a cool idea. He's going to be doing some other stuff with it, but it was a unique project. He brought us on to help with his initial branding. So that included some of his logo design, the color choices, the fonts, the font family, those sorts of things. He's also going to have us do some custom photography. We're going to build his website and various other things, probably some social media stuff as well. But what I want to focus on today is the logo and what he did to bring the logo to life with his feedback, because it was a crucial part of the entire project. So when we got his intake form back, he went through and he filled it out very completely, and we came up with 3 initial concepts, and they're all very different based on the feedback or the initial intake form. We tried to keep the integrity of the intake form, but give him 3 very unique looks with his logo. So the first one was this sort of this modern look, more abstract. You can see the mule is not quite defined. There's some abstractness to this logo. The font choice is a little more modern as well. That was logo number 1. Logo number 2, this one's actually my favorite. This is more of an Old West style. It's got the headshot, kind of the hero shot of the mule here. I really like this rendition, but the third one was the one that he actually ended up choosing, and it looks like this. And so again, we incorporated some of the Foothill stuff in here. We came up with a different sort of a font. The mule, you can tell it's a mule, but it still has some abstract properties to it. So this is the one that he initially chose, and he said, I like this direction the best. And when we asked for feedback, he actually sent us an 11-page document giving feedback. Now, a lot of people might go, oh my gosh, this is too much information, but personally, more information for us is better. One of the worst things in the world that you can do to your designer is just to come back and say, I don't like it, or it doesn't speak to me, or whatever, and you're just very vague and not very specific. Come back and you say, I really want it to pop. That means virtually nothing, because it means something slightly different to everybody. So what we're looking for is very specific feedback on points that you like and points that you don't like, and the more specific the better. So here's what Matt did. He came in, he said, okay, here's feedback for round 1 divisions. Aspects I really like, and he went through and he listed them, bulleted them out, and said, here's what I like. Things to change. He again was very, very specific. Some detailed characteristics of Richard the mule, which, by the way, Richard is the mule's name. Ears, tail, hooves, mouth. So donkeys and mules are very different, apparently, which, we learn something new every day, but they have different characteristics. And so he went through and he pointed out some of these characteristics, and he talked about how the dark hair that Richard had as opposed to other mules who are lighter in color. He gave us some feedback on the font choices. He talked about some of the other things, like one of my favorites here was, he said, mules have more of a horse-like tail, donkeys have more of a tail that tapers off into hair, which I had no idea, whatever. And then he just went into some more detail, even down to the shape of the face and the roundness of the nose and that sort of thing. And then he gave us some other thoughts. Here's some other things I love, and some other thoughts which we can talk about. The point of this is, this feedback was extremely useful for us. We went through and we picked out and got it down almost to exactly what he wanted on the last revision. Let me show you this last revision that we did here for him so that you can see it. So this is where we sort of ended up. This is still kind of a work in progress, and it's sort of a rough draft here. We added a pack. This mule originally didn't have a pack on it, so we just one of our designers just sort of hand drew a pack for conceptual reasons here. But the font, we made a little bit of change. The color palette, we made a drastic change. It went from green to brown. This was all based on feedback from him. We incorporated some of the hills in the background, stayed more true to the characteristics of a mule instead of a donkey, etc. So this is where it sort of ended up. This is where it started, was here, and this is where it sort of ended up. So when you look at these two logos side by side, they look completely different. But the fact of the matter is they're very similar, but we were able to capture the vision more accurately because of the accurate feedback and the specific feedback that Matt was able to give to us. So if you are in the middle of a branding project with a vendor and you're looking at it and they bring something back and it's not anything like what you wanted, I would encourage you not to just throw the baby out with the bathwater, but to look at the things that you actually do like, pinpoint the things that you don't, and then give very specific feedback to the designer. And normally they'll go back and do a handful of different revisions for you to capture what you really want. So I hope this was useful for you, and that on your next branding project, you'll be able to nail it.